Hello, everyone. Hello, Robin.
Hi, Heidi.
Hi. We're here today to talk about surrender with Athena in Truth.
Mhm.
And I know you recently had a couple podcasts about this subject. For those that haven't listened to the podcasts or want additional information, could you just explain what you mean by surrender?
Yes. Uh, what we mean by surrender, Heidi, is to understand that there is a higher power than is you, you're human, that there is something outside of just you in your human form that has the ability to connect to you, to make circumstances and situations occur to you, and that you are not, as your human, really doing anything other than having preferences. You are deciding what you like and what you don't like. And of course, you are educating yourself. You are doing things in behalf of your desire. But really, we would tell you that those things that you are doing, the things that you are inspired to do, are coming from the high part of yourself, you see. So even though as a human you are doing these things, it doesn't mean that you as the human have decided by yourself to do them. And in the recording, we said to you, it is a little difficult for us to work through you when you are constantly thinking you're doing everything. And what we meant by that is you have to accept the idea that you are an experiencer as a human, and you are deciding in every given moment what it is you like and you don't like. And then as you have this decision made, all that is receives it, the high part of you receives it, it automatically responds to it, and it becomes it. And it becomes this beacon now, this indicator that is trying to call you in the direction of where the good stuff is that you have become, you see. And it is going to provide you with circumstances, with situation, with people, with all kinds of ideas. Get educated, get trained in your pickleball, whatever it is, yes. And so you think that as a human, you're doing it all, but really your inspiration that is coming to you through the high part of yourself, simply by the desire that you sent to it.
Okay. So for clarification purposes, if we have something we love that isn't going well for us in our life,
Mhm.
and we surrender it, does that ever mean that we're giving it up permanently? I know that you talked about it's not a good idea to replace with something else and think that you're going to go, oh, I'm going to go do this now because that, but like, is it a surrender in the sense that we're eventually going to get back to it? Or is it sometimes we're just giving it up permanently?
Surrender is really a decision to choose something that is going to feel better than what you have been struggling against, you see. And we don't like to tell humans you have to quit something, you have to stop something, you have to get out of a relationship or anything like that. We are not here to be the determiners or the tellers of what those of you should be doing, you see. But certainly you know what you should be doing by the way you are feeling. And this is what we are trying to bring your attention to when we bring up surrender. We want you to surrender when you are not feeling good to something that feels better. We had a little conversation with you, Heidi, just prior to starting our recording today. And that's what we were trying to explain to you. You have to pick the thing that aligns with you, and it will be different a little bit for each human. There will be some humans who are not going to feel good unless they tell somebody off and tell them exactly what they were thinking. And then maybe they will resolve it, and the one will come back and say, hey, what you were thinking was not right. And there will be a little bit of back and forth, but in the end, the one will feel good about the exchange. But then there will be those of you who will do same, and you won't feel so good. It will not align to you. And so what you're really doing here is you are becoming the knower of the self. You're becoming the understander of the self, of what makes yourself tick, what makes you feel in alignment. And by alignment, what makes you feel good. This is what you are really trying to do in every moment of every day, because as you start to feel good, this is when the universe now is attached to you. It is aligning with you in its energy, and it can start to bring you those circumstances and situations and things that you're wanting to really get that life that is waiting for you by all of the things you have desired by living in human form to begin with, you see. And so this is what we really mean about surrender, because Robin brought up the example of us a little bit. When she decides to sit down here, she has to surrender, believe it or not. She has to let go of the idea that Robin, as a human, is the one that's doing this transmission. She has to move aside and let us do it. And it feels good to her. So she just goes with it, you see. And so we want you to know that even though you are all having this idea that this higher aspect or higher part of you is something that is superior, or something that is going to feel so different really than you, is a mistaken idea or concept. It is going to feel very much like you, that the only difference is it's always going to feel good. When you're feeling good, make no mistake about it, you are connected to the high part of yourself. You don't need to have a dresser tip over. You don't need the lights to flash on and off. You don't need to think that you need to do exactly what Robin is doing in order to be tuned in and tapped into your high self, because as you feel good, we are telling you, you are. You see, this is what it is. This is how it feels. It feels good. It feels wonderful. This is a high vibratory level, and this is where the high part of yourself resides, you see. We want you humans to really get to understand that you have access to this in every moment that you are feeling good. And that when we say step aside, we say step aside and choose what feels good. Stop staying in the human. Stop staying in the negative emotion when you don't feel good. Decide to give it up to that higher aspect of yourself, and know that you have done it by the positive emotion you feel when you do it, you see.
Yeah, so it's really more about our perspective than it is the thing, correct? And
So many humans, Heidi, they think they have to make a lot of money. They think they have to have some notoriety. They have to be successful at what it is they are doing. And we're not going to poo-poo any of that. You can have all of that. If that is your desire as a human, desire away. And the universe will bring it to you, provided you move into the alignment, provided you move into the happy place, provided you decide to align to that high aspect of yours that will, hear that, will provide you with the circumstances, situations, and ideas and motivated inspiration to act on things. This is all coming from the high part of yourself once you have had the desire, you see.
yeah. So if we take a combination of, say we're doing something where primarily we feel good, and there are some moments here and there where we don't feel so good. As long as our moments of feeling good override those small moments of not feeling bad, or feeling bad, I should say, it's okay to continue with that. And if not, and we want to continue, then we just need to find a way to release our emotion around it, our negative emotion around it.
Yes, because we want you to understand how powerful your desire is. You don't have to remove the bad mate. You don't have to get away from the bad partner in pickleball. You don't have to eliminate people from your life that you're not in alignment to. All you need to do is to have a desire of how you would like your life to be, and then align in the good feeling place of yourself. And the universe will take care of that for you. These people will just drift out of your experience. You do not need to upset your apple cart to the way that you think that you do. You do not have to go out as a human and say, hey, I don't like you. I want you out of my life. Hey, over there, stop doing what you're doing. I don't like it. You're getting out of my life, you see. This is not the way to do it. You don't feel good as you do it. This is your sign or signal. It's the wrong way. All you need to do is desire. All you need to do is focus. Use that focus for what it is intended for, the choosing of what you want in your life, what you like, what makes you feel good, what makes you happy, and then stay with that. If you were the partner that's driving you out of your mind and that you are irritated with all of the time, you have to find a way to shift yourself out of it. Now, perhaps thinking about them isn't going to do it, but there must be something in your life. Those grandchildren, you could focus on them, couldn't you? Yes. Perhaps you have a job that you love, you could focus on them. Maybe there is an activity like pickleball or shopping or whatever it is that a human likes to do. Take a bath, listen to some music. We don't care. Find something to gently move yourself away from something that you can't drop. And why can't you drop it? Let's go with that for just a moment. You can't drop it because it's active in your experience. And all your human is letting you know is it's here, it's here, it's here, it's here. It's why you keep thinking about it. But if you keep distracting the human, distract it, pretty soon he'll lose sight of it. And pretty soon he will forget all about it. And pretty soon you won't be thinking that way anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Like with a child, it's so easy to distract them. If they have something you don't want, you can give them something else, and before you know it, take the thing away that they wanted, and they don't even remember it. So
absolutely. And this is the way to do it. And we're not lying to ourselves. We are simply looking for things that we know that we can love, that we know that we can admire. And we have accepted the idea that as we do this, that everything else in our life is going to follow this energy pattern, you see. Humans think, I want more money, I want more money, I want more money, but all the while they are thinking they don't have enough money and they're wondering where it's going to come from and how long it's going to take and when they're going to get it. We could go on and on the way that humans think about money, you see. And so all we're telling you is to find something that you do feel abundant with. Do you feel abundant with love? Do you feel abundant with friends? Do you feel abundant anywhere? Is there somewhere that you can make yourself feel fulfilled, as though you have enough, as though you have more than enough, and that you are grateful for it? Because these are the kind of things that are going to cause these other things to tag right along with them.
Yeah.
It's a way of kind of fooling yourself. There are beliefs that a human has, especially surrounding money, but we're going to tell you something. It doesn't matter whether you want $1 or $20 million. Doesn't matter. But the way you think about it, you choke right up. Your energy gets stuck right away. It's a lot of money. You can't imagine how it could come. And you start moving into the human. You start thinking that you are now the one that is going to create the experience, the circumstances, situations, and the time in which it's going to involve. And you are not. None of that is any of your business. All your business is to determine, would you like it? Yes. Now go about your way. Have a good time. Think about things that make you feel happy. Let the universe take care of the details.
Yeah, that's a good advice. I think that anytime you kind of go with that approach of, like, if you're in a holding pattern where you're like, well, I need to wait for this before I do this.
Yes.
It seems like there's always another thing and another thing and another thing that pops on the path and you never get going. Whereas if you just say, well, I'm going to do this and I'm not going to worry about what happens next.
We really want to tell you, Robin was sitting on her front porch, which they've always wanted a porch. And they have one with a couple of comfortable chairs. And at night they go out and they bring their little portable music player and they play some really relaxing, it's called Chase Lounge. She loves it. Yes. And they sit and have a glass of wine and they have a nice evening visiting on the porch, you see. And this particular evening or evenings that she was doing it, she was really reveling in the beautiful weather that they have. She was really reveling in this wonderful, comfortable chair in this nice spot that they have. They were really admiring their yard and how nicely it had turned out. And so all of a sudden, Robin felt this engagement or this click. I've done my job. And in this appreciation moment, in this gratitude moment, in this recognition of this joyful moment that she was creating for herself, she felt this connection that was coming. In what she is wanting in her future. And she realized, I've done my work. I can sit here and just have a glass of wine and feel good and admire all of these things. What we want to ask a question of all of you. What is so hard about feeling good? What is so hard about sitting outside and looking at all the beautiful things around you, or all the beautiful people or grandchildren or whatever it is that you can find to look at? What's so hard about that? Heidi, can you answer that question for us? Because it is one that we're stumped with. Today, we have a question.
Yeah, well, no. And that's just the ironic thing about it is we seem to make so many issues and problems for ourselves in life and complicate things. And this is something so easy. And
Absolutely.
You're not even asking us to feel negative. You're asking us just to feel good. So it's kind of really silly why we
then
don't.
You sit there on your porch. Let's give the other alternatives: seething with anger, frustration and lack, and wondering where everything is, and bitching about everything that you have had go wrong in your day. Which is requiring more energy. Well, we would tell you the bitching is requiring more energy. And not only that, it is being magnified in all that is because of the energy charge. It is not about whether it is good or bad. It is you releasing a charge of energy and you staying in that charge of energy long enough that you can actually connect to that.
Yeah, right. All right, so now I have a question. Since you had a question for me, I have a question for Robin. So you had said in a past recording that Robin can't occupy herself for you to come in, that she has to surrender, that she has to let go. And I guess I'm wondering if Robin could give us her human explanation as to what she does or how she feels when she's surrendering to you, so that we can get a sense of doing the surrender in our own lives, similar to the way she does it with you guys.
She has made a clear recognition that there is two of her. In our case, we're calling us two, but we are multiple consciousness that are communicating through one, known as Athena. Yes. And so Robin has made the delineation or the understanding in herself and you can do it too, Heidi, all of you listening can do it, that there are two of her. And so she has decided that Robin in her human form will now stand down. Robin in her human form will stand aside and allow us to do the transmission. This is what she has done, you see.
And what feels different to her? Does anything feel different to her when she's standing down?
Not at all.
Okay.
Other than the fact that she can hear her mouth rambling and she cannot believe that it is possible that something could take her over in this way. And of course, that is a little bit odd to her. But we would tell you that as she hears her voice, as she hears us talking in the words, she knows that an energy has taken her over. And her belief is only becoming stronger and stronger and stronger because of listening to the transmissions that are coming out of us every time that she's doing them. So what is the difference? The difference is she believes now. She believes because something else has moved her body except for her. Something else has moved her mouth except for her. Something else has spoken words through her that are not hers. And so it is easier for her, Heidi, to feel this way. But we want to tell you something, that it will be a touch different because you're going to be channeling your high self, where Robin has multiple experiences through one channel. Athena is grouping them all together. But make no mistake about it. If you start to decide, hey, I'm going to step aside and I'm going to listen to my high self, and started to talk to yourself as two, if you started to recognize, started to believe, started to really make that delineation between the two of you. And what are the two of you? Robin can tell you when we're in here, she never feels bad. She always feels good. She always feels uplifted. She always feels positive. She never feels not good when she is doing this, you see. And that for you is your sign or signal as a human. If you start to not feel good, if you start to feel negative, you know that you are now simply becoming your human. But we want you to make the delineation or the recognition, I'm feeling good. You know what that means? I'm connected. This is what self feels like. This is what connection is. Humans are mistaking. They think that it is going to be something that is so different than them, but it isn't different at all. It is this high aspect of you that is picking and choosing in every moment what it loves. And the minute you feel that good feeling, you are in alignment. Believe it. You are connected. Believe it. It is this high aspect of yours. It is communicating you through thoughts, through feelings, through emotions, every single moment that you are in this body.
Okay. Can you also clarify for us? There's several recordings over the past probably year and a half where you've talked about how special and unique and powerful we are as creators. Yet in your most recent recordings having to do with the surrender, you made the comment, oh, you probably think, why did we tell you you were all these things? And now we're telling you you're not. And so why don't you just kind of clarify and explain that point to people?
When you are the human, you are incapable of grand things. There are some things you can get done as a human, perhaps some bodily functions or whatever it is that you do as a human. You can maybe feed yourself and eliminate yourself or whatever function a human does. But the high aspect integrating itself with you is the governing thing of the tool. It is what is causing all of your manifestations to occur. It is what is causing all of these inspired actions, all of these ideas, things that you get to move as a human are all coming from the high part of yourself. So what we are really trying to get you to understand is when you become, and we don't really like to say egotistical because every human does have an ego and it is part of what motivates them a little bit. But when you start to think that you are, perhaps you do really well and perhaps you manifest a lot and you start to think that you are really grand as a human and you start to take all the credit for it and you move into becoming this what many in your world would call an egotistical or a big-headed human. Yes, we want you to understand to be humble. We want you to understand that you are a tool, and all of you are tools. And when we said to you, you are nothing without the source, we were not lying. Yes, when you are connected to the high part of you, you are capable of building worlds. You are capable of what many would call moving armies by yourself. Yes, you would have the ability through your focus. When you are connected, you're connected to all that is, and all that is what moves things. It is what produces things. It is what manifests. you see. And so when you get into alignment, when you can really align to this idea, to this source that is you, and you can move your belief system with it, you can follow it with your belief as a human. And the belief is coming from the human. The human is having experiences, and then by the result of the experiences, it starts to believe, it starts to follow or understand, let's use that term, what is really occurring. And so all we are telling you, and what we were telling you in the recording, is don't become the foolish human who thinks that it is producing all of the results by itself. You are not. It is this high part of yourself that is you are physically focused as a human, but you are universally focused in all that is. And this is where the real power is. When you hear about humans being capable to do anything in magnificent amounts of power or size in just one person focusing and in complete alignment, you have the power of the universe behind you. That's what you have, you see. But as a human, what have you got behind you? You've got your back, you got your mouth, you've got a little bit of your mind, but this isn't going to produce the energy that produces worlds, we would tell you. But all that is, you see.
Mm-hmm. Well, when you have someone, like, we could take a pro athlete, there's some out there that are very cocky, very egoic, very good at what they do. How would that be then? Because obviously there has to be a connection, or a high level of connection, for them to be functioning and doing well, but yet their ego is way out of control, and that almost seems like it's the opposite direction. And so how are things working for them?
The ego is not necessarily a bad thing. It can be a motivator. There are many humans, we would tell you, who are professional athletes. It's kind of what you were referring to. And there are other forms of occupations that those are doing, that other ones are doing, that are successful at it. But the amount of desire really that these people have, and the amount of energy that they have sent to all that is huge. And then what has happened because of it? They are feeling good. We would tell you, when they produce the results that they are wanting to feel, they start to feel positive, and they start to connect to the idea or the belief that they are getting exactly what they believe that they are projecting into all that is. And they are, you see. We're not here to poo-poo that having an ego or becoming one that believes in their human is a bad thing, provided you can align to it and feel good about it. And many of these do. This is what they do. They want this certain result so bad, and when they get it, they feel so good, yes? And so this is their alignment. This is how they do it, through this belief that they are the producers of it. They are the grander form. And we know that you are trying to find a counterpart, or a way that this does not really agree with what it is that we transmitted before. But we would still tell you that everything in a human is in categories or boxes or compartments. Let's use that word. Yes. And so in this compartment of the athlete, the professional athlete, they may have that really figured out. They may have that really going well for them. They may really be in alignment with the idea that they want to be famous, that they want to be the best, and they believe it by the results that they are getting because of the things that are being inspired to do. They are being inspired by all that is, by the desires that they have sent. So they're taking the lessons, they're doing the drills, they're following the practices, they're doing everything that all that is providing them with as feedback from what it is that they are sent to them in what they are wanting. So they are following this plan quite well. But where it can become a problem, you see, is perhaps in the personal life. Maybe not go so good in that compartment. It depends. You want to really look at all the compartments in the human's life. And we talk about balance a lot, and balance is an important thing, because you could be really powerful in one area and really lacking in another, and it can provide some unhappiness or imbalance in a human. So it is really an integral thing, Heidi, to get into the details of every compartment of one's life. But just an explanation to you, when you are speaking about professional athletes, it is really this dance between them and the universe. They are believing it is them. Yes, the universe doesn't really care, because they're feeling so good as they do it. And they are going and following the inspiration that is coming to them by the desires that they are sending, by aligning in the good feeling they are getting as they are getting the results that they want, you see.
Okay. All right. So before we came online here, we were talking just a bit about surrender, and I used our more common example of pickleball or tennis, where I couldn't just go out and say, oh, I like this, I'm now going to be good at it, and surrender and expect that I could know what I was doing. And so,
but you don't believe that either.
Right, right.
This
So
is key, you see. This is the difference between a professional athlete and you. They believe it.
mhm. Yeah. So really it's surrendering isn't really about being lazy. It's not, I have this thought of this is what I want to do. I'm going to step out of the way now and let the universe in and to take over and do the job. You still, just to clarify for everyone, we still have to, if we have an interest in pickleball or tennis, we have to, practice our shots and
But you are
learn
not
the
going to be
game.
inspired into the kind of action that is needed to get what you want when you're coming from a place of negativity. So
Yes.
say you're having a terrible time at pickleball and you're telling people, I'm awful today, I'm not doing well, it's not going how I want. Then you go home and you talk about how terrible you played, you see. And so the universe is generating more experiences for you that are going to bring you more terrible or more things that do not go your way, you see. And so
Hmm.
you have to get yourself feeling well enough that the universe inspires you to say, hey, let's line her up with this one. Maybe she'll get some really good tips from a really nice partner. Maybe they will tell her about a clinic that they are going to that's going to make her better. And pretty soon she starts to feel a little bit better. She starts to believe, oh, there's a little bit of hope. I noticed a little improvement. I went to that clinic. I'm getting a little better. I had that nice partner who showed me a few tricks. I'm getting a little bit better. And now the universe says, let's inspire a little bit more. Let's tell her to try that new racket. Let's tell her if she gets that new racket, that might improve her game a little bit and give her another little boost, you see. This is how it works, Heidi. But the
Yes.
inspiration that you are receiving, and you are receiving because you are getting into alignment. You are starting to make yourself feel good, and you are starting to believe it by the responses. So it is this intricate dance between you and you. It's the two of you working together in union that is providing these. You're providing the desires and the wants and how you would like it to feel. And then the high aspect of yourself is receiving that, and it is becoming that. And then it is signaling you through the way you have been feeling by what it has been receiving for you, what it should send to you that will match you. You see, if you
Right.
continue to stay in the negative feeling of not good enough, not doing well enough, didn't start young enough, didn't have lessons when I was young, comparing yourself to your husband or whatever else it is that you do, as you do this, you give the universe no chance at all to send you anything other than something that's going to aggravate you. You see.
Right. Right. So the reason I brought this up is just to clarify for listeners that the surrendering is more your attitude around it than it is actual laziness. Like you can't just
Absolutely.
sit down on the couch and say, I surrender. I'm going to let everything come to me. We still
No,
have to put in
I
our work.
surrender in the desire to
Yes.
feel good.
Yeah.
See.
Yep.
I'm not going to sit here and beat myself up and talk about all the things that I do wrong, and then all the ways that I am not good at something. I'm going to accept that I am a new player. I'm going to accept that I'm going to get better. I'm excited about things I'm seeing on the internet. I'm excited about seeing other people that are getting better. I see them from week to week. I know it is possible. Others are getting better all the time. You've seen it, haven't you, Heidi? Yes. And so
Hmm.
this is the way that one incrementally will raise their vibratory level to feeling good. And then pretty soon the universe will start to yield circumstances, situations, and experiences to you that will provide you with the opportunity to get the results that you are wanting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yes.
So you had said that we release the last shreds of control through surrender.
Mhm.
Uh, let's just kind of go through that a little bit and what you mean by that.
Yes. As a human, you can try to force, you can try to coerce, you can try to, as you said, sit down and give up and let the universe bring it to you, but you don't
Hmm.
believe in it. You're not in
Hmm.
alignment with it. And there's a certain amount of control. You are a human that is governed, we would say many of you are, by control, will often take this route or way. They are going to control relationships. They're going to control circumstances and situations. They're going to think they have to make something happen, that they have to go out and remove things from their experience that they're not wanting, that they have to tell people who are doing things that they don't want to stop doing them. And our argument has always been that this is not necessary, that you are an individual sovereign creator that simply creates by the desire to have what it is you are wanting. You do not need to go out and try to coerce or change or force others to behave in ways that you find to be in alignment with you, you see, because you're going to find yourself very quickly not in alignment. That's what occurs, because that human is also sovereign, and that human is also deciding for themselves how they are going to think, what they are going to do, and how they're going to do it. And you are never going to be the one that changes that. All you're going to do is change your own vibratory level, you see.
Hmm. Hmm.
Did we answer
So
that question?
yeah, yes, yeah. So and as far as control goes, you made the point, which I think is a good one. The only thing we really have control over is if we like something or we don't like it.
Absolutely.
And
And you
we,
can't pretend, you see,
yeah.
because the universe knows you. The universe is connected to you. There are all kinds of people out there that tout that they are happy when they are not, that they are a feel-good person when they are not, you see. And we would say, don't waste your time, because the universe is you. It's the same as you. It is connected to you. It knows in every single moment exactly what you're emanating. You can smile away if someone makes a good shot, but in your heart, if you're thinking, ah, you son of a gun, the universe knows it. It knows the son of a gun, you see. So you're never going to hide anything. You may as well say the truth of what you are. You would be in more alignment doing that, you see.
Do you think that there's any, for certain people, certainly not all, but do you think there's a benefit for some people to really get behind the idea that the high self deserves the credit rather than them? Because in that way, a human feels like they're off the hook a little bit, like, oh, this part of myself or this being that knows so much more than I is handling it now. So I have more faith in that than if I was just worried about me as a human handling it.
Absolutely. We would tell you that you could have all the desires that you want, but none of the results would come to you or be come in materialization to you if the universe was not sending opportunities, circumstances, and situations that you could now become what it is that you have become by the life you have lived, you see. And we would describe your human a little bit in relationship to us as to you wearing a nice outfit on your body, which is going to give the credit, the human or the outfit, you see. And so I know it sounds kind of ridiculous, but in some sense, this human, if you can really imagine or understand that it is like a cloak, that it is something that will wear out. It was not going to last. The outfit wears out, so is the human, yes? And so doesn't it sound ridiculous to put all your value into the one outfit that you have until it wears out? Or would it make more sense to value where the outfit's coming from? Because you might need another one, you see,
Right.
which is a whole nother story. Ha.
Right.
We have a sense of humor, Heidi, but you kind of get the idea of what we are saying. These
Yeah.
bodies are generated over from one lifetime to another. And basically, that is the way that we would like you to look at it. We would like you to value all that is. We would like you to value this universe that is the creative universe that is providing you with this body that you are using as an experiencer.
So why do you suppose we resist that there's a greater power than us? Why is that something that a lot of people struggle with believing? They believe that it's their human and they have to do it through work and they have to push themselves and they don't really believe that there's a higher path or a higher part of them that's kind of orchestrating things.
Yes, it is a little bit like your 3D movie, or every time that the senses are more activated, it becomes more believable or more real, you see. And now your humans are now even creating these masks that they wear, where it is now all around them or behind them. They are submerged or submersed in this experience, and it becomes very real. It is like your alternative realities that are now being created in the metaverse. Yes, same type of thing. So what we would try to explain to you is that as you are human with these feeling, smelling, touching, tasting senses that you have, it is ramping up or a confirming factor that it consumes you to your attention or your focus, there that is, to the degree that you lose the concept of everything else. You become immersed in the experience. And it would be no different. And we would tell you some of these new masks that are coming out are same. People are having physical exchanges. They are having going to different countries. They are feeling physically submersed or alive in another reality as they are doing this. Now, it hasn't advanced itself to the point where it overtakes the human reality, but we would tell you that sensing, tasting, smelling, feeling apparatus that you have as a human has overcome or circumvented the experience to the degree that it has grabbed your focus so powerfully that you cannot perceive anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're always trying to do desperately, Robin got a glimpse of it on her porch, is there is another perception that one can have. One can understand that they are a human and they are doing things, they are having experiences, and there are inspirations that come, but you have to realize that those inspirations are not random. Those inspirations are inspired by the desire that you had, but there is a connection going on how they are being provided back to you, you see.
Mm-hmm. The new little ones coming in, I know we've talked about this before and how they are expanded to where the whole expanded from all of our thoughts and desires, so they come in with even more than what we came in with.
Yes.
How do you see this playing out in terms of surrender with them? Do you see them doing it so easily that their manifestations are more immediate than ours? And if so, what does that look like for the world moving forward? Does that make it way more convincing? So more people saying, wow, look at what this young one's doing, what that one's young one's doing. I'm going to do that too. And is it possible that we can all quicken up that process of manifestation by watching these little ones?
Yes. What is really speeding up manifestation? It's the vibratory level of the consciousness of those that occupy the plane that you are on.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so as people start to expand, as they become more, as they start to gain this understanding that they are the creator of their experience by the desires they are having, and as they start to know that they can have anything, as they start to believe it, consciousness starts to rise and expand. And then as people are birthing more children, these ones are coming in at the expanded level of consciousness of the ones that bore them, because they are going to resonate with the higher vibratory level that is already here on the plane. You see, it's already beginning to happen. And so it is why the humans are coming in loaded and ready. They already know they are the creator. They, Robin's grandson will say over and over, I need to see a cement truck today. And his mother will say, I don't think there are any around here. And he'll say, I'll just keep saying cement truck till I see one. And pretty soon, guess what happens?
Yeah.
They see a cement truck where they would never normally see one. You see.
Mm-hmm.
And so this little one already knows. He's already loaded by the parents that bore him, by the vibratory level they are carrying, and starting to believe in themselves. He is able to hum right along with that. You see, this is the benefit. We have said before to humans when we talk about the vibratory level of the planet rising, some have said, oh, if you will be lucky enough. And we said, there's no luck involved here. There's nobody being left out unless they're choosing to hum at the old vibratory level. That would be their choice. And it would be very difficult for them to be living on a plane of expanded consciousness when they themselves are stuck in the old paradigm of not believing that they are the creators of their life, because so much good stuff's going to be going on around them that it'll not feel very good to them to not be experiencing same, you see. So but we want you to know that it is there for everyone. It is not excluded or isolated to just a rare few, and that everybody can have the benefit of rising right along with this hum that is very naturally occurring now that it has reached this level or tipping point that it is now at, you see.
Okay.
There isn't hardly a person out there. There's a few. Robin had one the other day. She heard her husband talking to someone, and he made some comment about your Aaron Rodgers doing ayahuasca and having a funky girlfriend that had some weird beliefs and blah, blah, blah. And Robin right away kind of felt herself recoiling, because she felt very proud of this one, very happy that at his age and in his notoriety that he was owning this power or this understanding that he had gotten. But it reminded her that there are still some that are feeling as though they don't believe it or they don't understand it. And she felt a little bit of, she's looking for the term, a little sorry, yes, actually for the one, because she knew that the ride that he was going to be on would not be a pleasant one for him in the old belief system that he has decided to stay with.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to give credit to those people that are in those public lives and they're still willing to out themselves in that way, because that's a tough thing to do.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is one that Robin struggles with too. And Heidi, probably to you a little bit to some degree, because there are those that probably wouldn't necessarily know or understand what it is that we are doing. Robin said sometimes she doesn't understand it either, but she has just decided to allow it because it is what it is. But I think you would agree, Heidi, that very naturally as time goes on, and we want to point out to you, and Robin will use you as an example, that your vibratory levels are gradually shifting upwards as you do the work that you are doing, and as you come more and more into the power that is you. Then pretty soon you turn around and you have this feeling like, I don't care what anybody thinks of me or what anybody knows of me, doesn't matter anymore.
Right.
It's a very natural process that occurs.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a lot of truth in the incremental, like how you always use the example, oh, if you thought you could have $1 million tomorrow, you could, but you wouldn't believe it. So you probably would believe it if it was 10 or $20. And I think that's the case with what we're doing. Like I remember our first YouTube and how nervous I was and how many times I said, and wondering if we were going to have enough questions or topics from week to week. And just in a very short time, like it's become just natural. Like I don't even stress about it. Some days, if I don't even have the questions ready till a little bit before, it doesn't stress me like it used to. So it's incrementally becoming easier.
We really like to use that example of going from puberty into adulthood. And if we were to ask you when it happened, you probably wouldn't even remember. But it was this very subtle or gradual change that came over you. And you went from being a child to all of a sudden a person that maybe was interested in sexual encounters, maybe understood that they would have a child someday. And you became this woman. And it is the same for a man. But it is this natural. Now, if you flipped a switch, in it, and one day you were a child and one day you were a woman having a baby, it would not feel natural. It would not feel as though the change had occurred in a way that you could embody it or understand it. Let's use that term. And so we want people to understand that this is the exact way that we would describe the rising of the vibratory level of each human. And they are all different. They're all on different time frames, dependent upon their belief and understanding and what it is that they are experiencing. But it's going to be this very gradual, natural process. I think many humans, when they talk about it, they think that there's going to be this bang or this thing that is going to happen that everyone's going to be shocked by. And we would ask you, were you shocked by becoming a woman or a man? You were not. It was this very gradual unfolding. And then with it came this very natural understanding and this progression into adulthood. And this is how exactly it's going to occur with the rising vibratory level upon your plane.
Yeah, and we've talked a little bit too before about the astrology and the solar system and the effects that have. And you know, I watch. I have this app called the Pattern app, and I look at it daily, and I read the little things that are in my few day forecast, and then the long range. And so often I find like the peaks and valleys and different things that I'm going through are very related to what is on there. And so I think also that plays a role in
Can
what's
you hold
happening.
that thought for a moment, Heidi?
Yeah.
So in watching this astrology, would you really, if you were honest, would you say that you alter your experience in any way because of what you have read?
No, but I often will read it thinking, oh, that is kind of what I was going through. Yes.
Yes. So we are never going to poo-poo astrology because it's something that a human chooses in order to live out or experience what it is they are wanting to experience in the life that they're having. But we want to catch you in that moment so that you can understand how planned this is. And that even when you get shown the plan, you don't change.
Yeah.
So we want humans to be less hard on themselves. We want humans to be more human. We want you to allow, there it is, your life to unfold as it unfolds without judgment, because hear this, you're not going to change it that much, you see.
Yeah.
Because it is just like the astrology. We would tell you you are accurate when you say so many of the things are very in alignment or they actually happen. And even though you've had the experience, it's true. You, as you're human, submersed in your experience, are not able to use that information to your benefit.
Well, sometimes I think it's been helpful. Like if I see there was a period, and we talked about this, I don't know when it was, a few months back, where there was something with the moon, and I just felt so yucky. And I thought, well, there's no real reason me
Yes.
personally should feel yucky, but I just felt this yuck.
Yes.
And I think when I read that, I started to think, oh, that's what's going on. And at the very least, I might not be able to pull myself out of the yuck, but now I can at least acknowledge, well,
Yeah.
this is why I felt that way,
Yes.
you know?
It is a good tool to use for allowing. This is what you are saying, and we would agree with that. But we just wanted to really make the point of how powerful the plan is, even when you are viewing it sometimes. To veer from or to change. Not impossible. But the reason we are bringing this up is because perhaps if you read it a few days out, now having been armed with this new realization, maybe you can influence it if it is not headed in a direction that is to your liking or what you are going to be viewing. Yes?
Yeah. Yeah. So any final thoughts, things that you want people to really understand about surrendering and being
We
able
want
to
to tell you, when we tell you to swing the white flag, whenever you're feeling negative, whenever you're feeling bad, whenever you are condemning self or judging yourself or another person, just imagine yourself swinging a white flag out the window and decide, what does that mean? It means that I want to feel good. I don't really care what's going on around me or who it is or what it is or why it is. I'm just going to make myself feel good. And I know when I make myself feel good and I surrender to the highest part of me, then I can get the good stuff that I've become by all of these things that I've gone through. Why would you continue at war? Why would you continue to not feel good and continue to build energy around something that you've already built? Let it go. Otherwise, you're going to be dipping yourself back into the contrast over and over and over again. And you're going to become very tired and downtrodden, and you're going to have enough. And you're going to say, I can't do it again. I don't want to do it again. And really, you don't have to do it again. All you need to do is know that there is a power outside of the human, capable of all things.
Yep. And this might just be a me thing. I don't know if others will relate to this, but I'm always a big pusher of repetition. And so because when you're in a heated situation, you know, particularly you're in an argument with someone close to you or whatever, and you find yourself getting out of control and dipping your vibratory levels, have some reminders out, like have a note that says white flag or
yes,
how are you feeling, or you know, just reminders like bathroom mirror, car, kitchen counter, just till you get in the process, because you can think it really clearly like now when we're talking to you, but when you're in that situation and you're really fueled up about something, that's when you need your sticky note to tell you to wave your white flag.
And also, Heidi, to use the practice of pre-paving a little bit, where when you know you are going to be interacting with a group of people, that you tell yourself, I love people. I am happy to have these people to do this with. I'm really looking forward to my nice exchanges that I'm going to have, and try to shore yourself up a little bit prior to going to these experiences. If you go, and we use the example, you actually gave Robin some good advice. Yes, she had a little incident on the pickleball court, nothing too big, but a man got left out of a group, and he felt as though Robin had gone in at the wrong time, something of this nature. And she left the pickleball court feeling a little bad because she knew he felt bad. And so the next day, which was today when she went, she just gently put her hand on his shoulder and said, hey, I'm sorry about the mix-up that we had the other day. I hope you do not hold it against me. I did not mean to do it. She said, it is hard to do everything right here. There's people coming and going and whatnot. And it put a very good feeling. She had pre-paved. We would tell you she wanted to have a good experience. She imagined how she would greet this one and make sure that they had a positive experience today. And they did, you see. So a lot of humans think that apology means that you're giving up. there it is again. And we say, yeah, give up, swing the flag. Why would you do anything that doesn't make you feel good? Why would you not make a situation into something that feels good? So in this way, an apology is a good way to disarm that one and disarm yourself. So never look at it that way. We want you to know that every good deed that you do, everything that you do to make another feel better or uplift them is only uplifting you, you see. It's only giving you an easier time. So do this in all of your activities that you can before you go and do them. Don't leave it open to what might be active in your vibration to occur. Know to yourself that I may have things in me that are not in alignment everywhere, but coming here, I want to have a good time. I want to really enjoy these people. I want them to know that I've received them. I want them to know that I like them, that I am grateful for them. And in this way, you will have the experience that you're wanting to have instead of one that might be activated by something in your vibratory level that perhaps has been hanging around from other incidences in your life and now will show up there too, you see.
Yeah, that's good advice to do that as well.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much. Again, anybody has any questions, comments, or wants to be a part of our YouTube, you can always email me, Heidi at athenaintruth.com. And we thank you. We hope you got something out of today's recording, and we'll look forward to seeing you all again next week.
Good day, Heidi.
Thank you.